So what does all of this James Comey testimony mean? Well, it depends on which news source you go to. If you go to Vox.com, James Comey's testimony shows Hillary Clinton was right all along. And so much worse than a, quote, careless email server management. All right, so there's that point of view. And this article in Vox, written by Matthew Iglesias, really, it's minimizing. It's really minimizing, obviously, who Hillary Clinton is. So this is a Hillary Clinton thing, and she called he wasn't fit for president. Hillary said in her campaign, and it's sort of there was ties to. This article badmouths the WikiLeaks emails, and it kind of shows that the WikiLeaks emails say that there were some problems in the DNC primary and stuff like that, but it really, it has all this clickbait stuff. So that's the title, right? James Comey's testimony shows Hillary Clinton was right all along, and then if you scroll down, Trump is very fishy on the right. There's big bold, and then you have to read more detail. Hillary Clinton was right about Russia. And then it says stuff like, over emails pilfered from the Democratic National Committee servers and posted in the well-known, if controversial, radical transparency website WikiLeaks. The emails didn't reveal anything illegal or particularly scandalous, but they were concrete evidence for what, quote, everyone knew, quote, but couldn't officially say. The organs of the Democratic Party had treated Clinton as the presumptive nominee from day one and Bernie Sanders as an annoyance who they wish would go away. Actually, it was illegal, and that's what the DNC lawsuit is that none of the mainstream media is covering. You don't even cover it in your article. Vox, why don't you refer to that, the DNC lawsuit? So that's one angle. Hillary Clinton was right about Trump. It, of course, then it doesn't blame Hillary for. First of all, it says Hillary's right about Trump's ties to Russia. It doesn't talk about Hillary's. The Clinton Foundation sold uranium to Russian businessmen through their foundation, as reported in the New York Times in April of 2015. It doesn't talk about that at all. So there's one angle. There's a Fox News angle that says. That basically just parrots what President Trump tweeted Friday morning, which is Comey. All Comey proves is that Trump was right. Comey's a leaker. That's what Trump posted. He leaked that info. And if you watched Comey's testimony, he says that, he leaked the information to protect himself, which I don't blame him, of course. So there's Fox saying that. Then there's the Washington Post. Comey's testimony changed everything, and not in Trump's favor. And this is an op-ed piece by Jennifer Rubin, a Washington Post, Democracy Dies in the Darkness. And what this article talks about is whole, from now on, we're going to talk about before Comey and after Comey is what this article, before Comey, this article claims impeachment talk was not a real concern for Republicans. While they still insist there's nothing to see here, Comey's testimony turned impeachment into a serious topic of discussion. When you are debating whether an appalling course of conduct is illegal or merely impeachable, or whether it is bad as the facts that led to Richard Nixon's removal, the incumbent party is in deep trouble. Before Comey, the 2018 elections might have been a referendum on the Trump agenda. After Comey, they surely will be a referendum on Trump, and specifically whether he should be impeached, unless, of course, Republicans decide to cut their losses and get rid of him before the midterms. So that's another angle. If you just Google Comey testimony, you see any number of headlines. CNN.com, Comey testimony shows Russia controversy is an anti-Trump witch hunt. Washington Post, 2 hours ago, Trump accuses Comey of lying, says he's 100% agree to testify in Russia probe. New York Times, Comey's testimony was ratings gold even at 10 a.m. So it's really like, it's fascinating. So let's go to the Intercept. James Comey, a Washington operator, knows how to play the game. This of course makes a lot of great points. It's by Matthias Schwartz and Ryan Devereaux, and it came out at June 8th at 12 p.m. And what this article goes into is how basically Comey is a seasoned, intelligence person that works in D.C. and knows how to, maneuver these things. And he saw Trump as a real threat and got, 3 moves ahead to get him nailed. Did Comey ever write down memos after a meeting with Obama? Maybe he did, just to cover his ass, and never revealed it, never needed it. But here's, and the Intercept article talks about the kind of 2 Comeys. There was the Comey that's in his written accounts with Trump, the James Comey who the former FBI director asked the committee to believe was a far humbler man than the one who showed up for the hearing. Despite Comey's self-reported concerns that Trump's pattern of inappropriate and possibly illegal conduct was a threat to the independence of the FBI, he never fully voiced these concerns to Trump's face while he was among the nation's top law enforcement officer. Instead, he wrote them down. That's very telling. So he was just sort of operating. I mean, if you see how he's operated here, the right loved him. Then when he kind of he exonerated Clinton in July, the left loved him and the right was mad at him. Then the right hated him the left hated him when he reopened the investigation a week before the election. This Comey and the FBI is repeatedly what Hillary has blamed, along with the DNC and the clouds in the sky and anybody else that isn't the person she looks at in the mirror every day. So here's why this is interesting. I was reading some excerpts from Manufacturing Consent by Noam Chomsky, and they talk about the Watergate and how that was this, oh wow, it really was this golden era of journalism. And what he talks about was the liberal elite, the power structure. What happened was they let Nixon get away with a lot of shit. When Nixon went after independent journalists, nobody cared. The Washington Post didn't cover that shit at all. When Nixon went after the Democratic Party, which is part of the power structure, then they're going to speak up. Then the power elite, then the guard dogs of power, which is what the media is. They're the guard dogs of power. They're the watchdogs and the guard dogs of power. Then they're going to go on the attack dogs. If you attack the powerful, if you threaten people's power, and I've talked about this before because Chomsky's talked about this since Trump's election. If Trump is threatening the truly powerful, then they're going to have him removed. And they'll use a guy like Comey to do it. And the media will act accordingly. So that's the underlying tone to all of this Comey business, is Trump probably started messing with the power elite's money. Maybe Trump is doing business with Russia, so Bill Clinton has gotten paid to do business with Russia. Hillary has, the Clinton Foundation has, but Trump he's messing with somebody's real money. That's the only reason they're going to start taking him out, if he really threatens them, because it'll come from the right, as Chomsky said at the beginning of the year, and now this is all kind of crazy chaos. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out and what happens. Do they realize, is it quicker to get Trump out of there and get Pence in there So by 2018 and 2020, everybody's comfortable with nice, congenial Mike Pence, clean cut, speaks well, won't say crazy shit on Twitter. Will he start to quiet the left down? Did they start to go, man, Trump is bad news. We can't have Trump in there because it mobilized the left. It mobilized the resistance. So we need him out. We need nice Mikey Pence in there, and maybe he'll back down and then the left will fall asleep. That's my fear if Mike Pence gets in there, is the left to fall asleep. And I think they know this. They'll the resist, because if Hillary would have won, none of this resistance would have happened. None of it would. No one would be resisting at all. She would be bombing Syria. Well, the travel ban was voted down twice, so the travel ban hasn't happened. There'd be no wall, but she would have Goldman Sachs in there, and she would be in Syria bombing. And because she wouldn't go after Planned Parenthood, that's the only difference. Like, Planned Parenthood is the only thing that's gotten defunded. She'd give out some breadcrumbs to some social organizations like that, and to keep everybody on the left in line, to shut up. No one would question her. And Rachel Maddow would be singing her praises every night, and everything would be fine. But Trump is getting, because they don't like all these people showing up at town halls. They're showing up at Democrats' town halls too. Democrats don't like that. They show up at the Republican town halls, that's fine, but the Democrats are getting called out. Nancy Pelosi's getting called out. Dianne Feinstein's getting called out. They don't like that shit. So they're like, Trump's got to go. Kamala Harris says we shouldn't have to, subscribe to purity tests. So it's interesting to see how everyone reacts and what the fallout of FBI, Comey, Russia will be. And I will keep following it and pointing out and showing all the different reactions to it. Thanks for watching. Support the Patreon link below, you guys. Support independent media. I will always give you what I believe to be true. I won't bullshit you and let anyone tell me to say something that I don't believe in. You might not agree with me, but it'll be what I believe to be true. And that I can promise you.